It was a next level experience, just a holistic approach to training, which is something I particularly appreciate as an athlete. I'm very detail oriented, so the level of care and detail within each exercise, and it felt very tailored to my specific needs, which is exactly what I want as a player. I want to feel like I'm improving to the best of my personal performance, not just a general training program.
I've had long legs and naturally fast, but I should do more of this kind of stuff to, like you said, you can always do better, right? And I think, because I'm always quite a natural athlete, it makes you think you don't have to work. But this stuff I need for the short distance, you know, because in a match it's just like short distance.
Yes.
It's not necessarily the long ones, you know. So this kind of stuff is really helpful for me. It's really good.
This is the hamstring part.
I certainly walked away feeling like I've learnt more about my body, what I can do to improve to take my personal game to the next level, and can't ask for much more than that.
Set is you can pull your right leg like this. For a second, you still compose in here. You're not pushing the left leg. So you have to push the drum.
Okay.
Two more. Okay, this is better.
Okay.
It's holistic, it really looks at every angle of performance. I think it's easy to overlook the physical training as a footballer because it is a very skill-based sport. You need to be able to handle the ball well at speed, but having a good athletic foundation only allows you to excel in your technical areas as well. If you have a good first touch, dribbling, that's all well and good, but you need to be able to maintain it over the course of 90 minutes, be explosive when other players are starting to fatigue. And it's usually towards the end of a game where the team with less fitness capabilities are more vulnerable. So if you're able to have a holistic approach to your performance, you're going to be able to perform when it really matters most towards the end of a game.
When I first saw it, I was wondering how you could get so much out of just a small area. A lot of players think they need a full-size pitch to be able to train, but as we can see from the heart rate, you can get up to that game intensity.
I think what blew me away from just seeing clips of Pliko Gym maybe a year ago when I discovered it, I was really impressed how the training staff here were able to utilize smaller space areas and make it feel like a real match. Because in a football match, you're on a large pitch, you've got a lot of space, but it's really those individual tight space moments over the course of 90 minutes that win or lose a match. It's about your individual matchups between you and your opponent. And Pliko is able to emphasize that in these technical areas, get your heart rate up and bring that intensity even within those tight spaces and allow you to deal with the fatigue that you're going to experience during a match and still maintain your technical level. It challenges you not only physically, but mentally. I think especially with the patterns, what I was noticing, as my body got fatigued, my mind got fatigued, it became even more of a challenge to remember the patterns. And that's just another layer that you have to work through as an athlete because the battle on the pitch is not just physical, but a lot of it is mental, So being able to maintain your level, even when your thought process starts to slow down and you get a bit disoriented, this kind of training is going to allow you to endure that a lot longer so you can reach higher levels and maintain those high levels.
This is the game, so this is the real deal. I love it. So good. So good. Let's go. Open up. Hard. Shoot. Left up. Good turn. Alright, this. Hey.
Especially as a professional, your body is your livelihood. If it's not performing to the best of its potential, you're not going to perform at your best and your career is affected that way. So it's really important to be honest with injuries, with areas of the body that perhaps aren't firing as highly as you want them to, and address them instead of just masking those things and wanting to get out on the pitch as most footballers do. If you pay attention to those areas of the body that need work, you're only going to level up your performance more than you thought. If you ignore them, you're going to spend more time off the pitch. and not doing the things that you want to do. So it's really important to be honest with yourself, honest with your coaches, and this level of data is what helps you have a better understanding of your performance. Accountability is really important when it comes to team culture. And if you're not able to perform at your best, not only are you not performing at your own personal capabilities, but you can also let the team down. You know, you want to be performing at your best for the sake of the team performance. So that accountability with your coach is really good, because through conversation, you might not share as much information in terms of how you're feeling, because you want the coach to back you and believe in you. But if you look at the data and you can have that communication, it allows the coach to be more efficient, have a good oversight of his players or her players, and allow them to get to the highest performing level for each individual, which is only going to contribute to the level of the team and increase that. So it's super important.
That's why it's good to see a company where there's lots of different coaches, different positions, because then it's a collection of ideas rather than just one person's philosophy, you know. Thank you. Wow.
Take a break.
I'm cooked.
Need some calories now.
Yeah. Need to go eat a lot of Korean barbecue now.
Yeah.
Lots. Yeah. As much as possible.
It's important to get that fuel in your body, because your body is almost like a car. If you're not putting the correct fuel in a car, it's not going to drive how you hope it to. And it's the same with an athlete. If you're not fueling it the right way, you're not going to perform at the level you want to. So it's really helpful when it not only fuels you the right way, but it tastes good, so you actually look forward to drinking it. And it's an easier way to get those fluids on board, electrolytes, and that all-important protein immediately after the session, so you can start rebuilding the muscles that you've been breaking down and challenging throughout the session. Because if you're not fueling before the session, you're not going to perform as well in the session, meaning you won't get the benefits as much. But also, if you're not recovering afterwards, all of that work you've put in could be wasted if you're not rebuilding the muscles how they need to be, so you can return to the next session even more explosive, even higher performing.
Explosion. Yeah, explode movement. And if explode, you need to design attack. Yeah.
When you're a younger player, you're perhaps not thinking as holistically about training. You just want to improve your skills. But the earlier you can understand those things, you can get that advantage over other players at your age. And I think the younger you start doing those kind of things, it's only going to help you later in your career, because there isn't many younger players focusing on that. So if you're at a facility like this and you're taking on the right fuels, not only are you training the right way, but if you're fueling and recovering the correct way, that compounds over time. So by the time you're an adult player, you're going to have a lot more advantage over somebody who's not been doing the right thing. So the earlier the better, I think.
Amazing. Very nice to meet you. Michael, nice to meet you. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. This is Rebecca.
Rebecca, nice to meet you.
Oh, wow. This is amazing. Yeah, so I found some of the training clips. I think it just came across social media, and the style of training was, I really wanted to try it for myself, because I've trained with a lot of coaches and clubs around the world, and this really looks like another level in comparison to what I'd seen before. So unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's really good.
I think Plyco sums it up perfectly. There's really no stone unturned when it comes to the training experience. You're walking away knowing exactly where you need to improve. There's no guesswork needed. I think a lot of players go about just trying different training methods, not really understanding their progress. But here there's irrefutable data that you can look at and see on screen how you're improving, how you're working. And it's a good level of accountability that you don't often get when you're training by yourself, or maybe in an unstructured environment, perhaps with a team that doesn't have access to this kind of equipment and this kind of technology. So it's something I would have loved to have had at a younger age, where I was exploring training a little bit more. Coming to a place like this, it gives you that confidence knowing you're training the right way and hopefully winning the right way.
Amazing.
Second, business is Google Gym, which is